Hey guys, welcome to the second video of the series. This is something I probably should have done in the first rather than in the second video, but it is what it is. So in this video, I'll be going through the sections of the overall overview and the sections of the resume, and why I've removed certain sections and why I've kept those sections and how I've used those sections. And specifically, what is the order of the sections? Because that order you probably have seen in different templates. So why I kept this particular decision. So right now I'm going to start the video on the sections that I currently use in my current format and why I have done so. Okay, let's get started. So on the screen right now you can see my resume that I have been using, which I have obviously modified with certain details. But basically you can see that this is the resume that I have. You have the header, the title of the job, and then you have your header details and your technical skills, your work experience. I have my education, and why you are seeing a massive white space is because I used to have my projects in my earlier resume. That's because when I was hunting for a job, I used projects. I added projects, and I'll tell you why I removed the projects as well. So at the top of the resume, first section is the technical skills. In many of the resumes, you will find out that the technical skills might be at the bottom of the resume. But the reason why I put it at the top is because I want to show the recruiter as soon as possible that yes, these are the skill sets I have, because I want to show that yeah, this is the skill set you're looking for, and this is the skill set that I have. Does it match with yours? If it does, then you can go ahead with my work experience. Because if the skill set does not match, it doesn't matter. Especially this is important for people who are transitioning. You might not have the relevant experience, right? But if you have a relevant skill set, they can interview you, right? That's a bit of a RNG, right? Luck, basically. Um, but yeah, but that's how it works, right? So I want to make it as fast as possible for the recruiter to count me in or count me out. So if I tell them that okay, these are the technical skills that they're looking for, obviously they will have like a set of skills on their own hand. Okay, the guy knows Python, SQL, they have experience with Oracle or MySQL. They have machine learning knowledge, right? So these are the skills that they are looking for compared to the JD, right? So that's why I have put the technical skills at the top of the list. So this enables them to understand, okay, is this guy technically a good fit or not? Next comes the work experience. In the work experience section is obviously in the so this is where the difference matters for people. Since I have some amount of work experience, I have put it in the second section. Some people suggest that put if you are transitioning into data science, especially if you do not have relevant work experience, you can put your projects there first, and you make project your main section that has the most amount of content, followed by the experience, which might show that okay, you are not this, you haven't worked into data science, and you want to move into that. So hence it's at the bottom. But since I have a certain amount of works, and that is what I did when I first got my job. Initially I use a different format back then, but since I'm already working in a data science field, work experience is something I put in the second. The reason I do that is once they realize okay, this person has done this, let's see what work he or she is doing, and then you can move on to see okay, this person has worked in these companies in this particular roles and for this amount of duration. So this enables the next section. Hence, this is the reason I put work experience as the next section, that it makes a recruiter understand, okay, this guy has worked in these companies. These are the things I have done. This is what it he seems like by this work he has done. So that's why he can probably do the same similar work or something better in our own company, right? So this enables the recruiter to understand and filter you out or filter you in, right? Obviously, you would want to be filtered in, but just in case you're not, so it's okay. It's okay. That is on them, right? That's not on you. So it enables them to filter you in or filter you out, right? The more easier. Understand again. I made this point again. I'm reiterating this point from video one. The more easier you make your resume to read and make your recruiters life easier, it it will be more appreciated, right? That's why again, tip number one is the white space management. You have to manage your white space perfectly. It should be very readable. It should not be a wall of text. And second is overall the user experience of your resume, right? The UX of your resume. once your resume is easy to pass and understand by the recruiter, they can make a faster decision, right? And it's usually in favor of it. It's provided you are a matching fit. Moving on to the next section is I have do not have the project section here, but I used to have a project section after this because when I was looking for a data scientist job, moving from a senior data analyst to a data scientist job, I did not have a lot of machine learning experience on hand. So I use the project section to cover up the things that I want to work for at industry level, but I haven't been able to work in like in my own current company or my current role. So uh, I think that's one good use of the projects. For example, if down the line a couple of years later, if I have to move into something, I want to move into deep learning roles, then since I do not do a lot of deep learning based projects, I can do the projects on my own time, and then I can put it in the project section to show that okay, I know machine learning. I've worked with now as a data scientist role. I have worked in the machine learning field. I know things about that. But since I want to move into a deep learning role, I have some working knowledge about it based on my projects that I have executed. So I feel that is the reason why you should have project section is to cover up. Obviously, if you do not have any experience, that is what it should be used for. So the project section basically it should be used for what you do not know, sorry, what do you know, what you do not have experience in. That is what I believe the project section is best used for. Obviously, avoid all those typical bike sharing, fraud, credit card fraud, or whatever those very typical vanilla projects. Right? Do something of your own. Be it small or big, do it something of your own. So that is what the project section should be used for. I used to have the project section after my work experience because since I got a bit of experience, so I put that above. But earlier I used to have the project before the work experience. So once I have the projects, and then it's followed by my education section. It's obviously you have to just put your details here. Ignore the formatting here because of removing of certain details. The formatting has gone a bit awry. So but obviously be sure to just double check your formats because when you're putting some details, it might just move things around a bit. That is one thing. That's a certain drawback of not having a template is you have to at a granular level, you might have to double check everything. So in the white space, if you have any more white space left, just in case I want to fill up your resume a bit more, you can put your certifications and you can expand on the project section. I would rather have you expand on the project section. And last but not the least, things to avoid. Point number one is the summary. Obviously, now summary is a very debatable topic, to be honest. I mean, a good summary would probably have you tell the recruiter, give an overview of the entire thing, and probably make it easier. I might use a summary provide because I have a lot of white space, right? Meaning I can put like a couple of lines of summary at the top. But why I did not use summary back then was because I was focusing a lot more on my projects and on work experience, so I did not add a summary there. I would suggest you can experiment with removing or adding a summary that gives in details. Avoid using your generic terms, data driven, result oriented, extremely hardworking. I mean, everyone just says so, right? Yeah, it's very common to see all those terms and that. So it's kind of like I make an eye roll whenever I read all those stuff. So yeah, I prefer to avoid that, and it gave me more white space to work with in my resume, enabling me to put more details in the resume. Another sections to avoid is probably your hobbies. I guess I've seen some sections have hobbies. Honestly, from an Indian market point of view, um, hobbies, no one really cares, right? You find articles saying that if you put hobbies like I don't know, like cricket, football, basketball, they show team spirit that you're a team player, blah blah blah. No. Imagine 5 seconds. Imagine that you're a recruiter with 5 seconds to make a decision. That's pretty sure that's not going into his head because he has other things to do. He or she has 1,000 other resumes to pass. Within 5 seconds, I make a judgment that just because he plays football, he's a team player. I don't think so, man. So hobbies are something I would rather avoid. Again, I feel it's a waste of a white space, especially on something like this. Maybe if it's a different field, if it's like in a different job role, then probably yeah. But from an Indian market point of view, it's rather you do not put them, right, rather than use it for more details for your own work. So yeah, always understand. So just understand that, think from a recruiter's point of view. He or she does not have the entire day to judge your resume. You have 5 seconds. Uh, Try to make a resume, give it to your friend, and ask them to judge you within 5 seconds. Uh, how how do you want to be judged, right? Your resume will be judged within those 5 seconds, right? So yeah, so do try to put yourself in their shoes and imagine that and make your resume accordingly. To summarize up, sections is I avoided summary because of the vanilla stuff, and it's very boring. I mean, it's everywhere there. So I just wanted to be a bit different and not have it there and give myself more space to work with. Technical skills came second because I want to make sure that the recruiter can understand that I am technically a good fit. Then the work experience came third because yeah, after even if I have the work experience, do I have the relevant work experience that the company wants or not? So that's a recruiter's decision again. Next is followed by the project sections. Section should cover the things that you do not have work experience with, but you have a working knowledge of, so you can deal with it, right? You can work on similar stuff at industry level. You just have the working knowledge, and you have the basic knowledge about those particular things. That's what your project section should be showing. And followed with the last section is the education, and probably you can add like certifications here. Education certifications comes at the last. If you're a student, the education might go up, or if you're a fresher and all. I try to make this as short as possible, and obviously, let's see how can I edit it properly. But yeah, give a thumbs up, and do comment any doubts, of any opinions you have, of anything you agree or disagree with. I would love to hear opinions. So yeah, please down in the comment section, and bye bye.